Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Takeover Tuesday. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? It's a new week. What's going on, you guys? Update me. What's happening? Give me all the scoop. What'd you guys do this weekend? I want to say hello to some of you guys. Let's see what have we got going on up in here. We've got Reva Ray coming in. Good morning. We've got Sue Main King, Kimberly N. Good morning. Sherry Higby. Good morning. Hello, all my friends. Oh my goodness. There's Kyle. You made a little. Yeah. Good morning. Alrighty, you guys. Welcome to Takeover Tuesday. My name is Kennedy. I'm a social media specialist here at SMP, and I am so excited for today's episode. I just have to tell you guys, it's cold again here in California. I feel like I've made it a thing to show you guys the weather. It's 57 right now. For me, we're struggling to get through. So I hope everybody else in California, I know there's a huge storm happening up north a little bit more, maybe like past LA and going into more central California. So I hope everybody is staying safe today. We're here and we've got the heater on, which is great. Our heater was not working for a while, but we got it fixed. We're back in business and we're ready to go. It's awesome. So let's see, what new things do I have to tell you guys about? So, of course, if you guys watched our 100th episode last week with SMP Live, I hope you guys had fun because we got to talk to you guys. That was literally one of the best episodes I think that we've ever done. It was so much fun to actually hear you guys and talk to you guys and see what things that you guys like. It was so much fun and we're going to keep it up. So if you guys watch our Thursday show, normally we're going to keep that going. So let us know and join in and you guys might be able to come on and chat with us. I wish I had a mic. I know we kind of had a mic connected, but I wish that I had one too. So that way like I could talk to you guys too, but it's okay. It was fun. It was great. And all of you guys, you guys watched it. Someone asked who won the persona. I think her name was Susan C. And Kyle wasn't she extremely excited? I think she called in. I want to say Laura Cook told us that she called in and she was absolutely ecstatic and could not believe that she won. So congratulations, Susan, if you're watching this. It was so fun to give away that PRS 100. And I mean, my goodness, you guys, that PRS 100 is probably one of the best machines out there on the market right now. And the fact that somebody won it and we got to give it away was so much fun. And I can't wait for her to get it. And hopefully she'll send us some pictures and show us what she's working on, because once you get an embroidery machine like that, especially with the PRS 100, you're off and you are just, the limits to what you can create are absolutely endless. So we love it and we're glad to get her a new machine. So that was so much fun. Then what else? So recapping that 100th episode, we had Nathan on, we had Carly Bell on, and stay tuned because we're actually having Carly Bell join us here in the next few weeks on Takeover Tuesday. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We have, let's see, what else? I feel like that was so long ago, even though that was not at all. I don't know what's going on with me. But yeah, we basically just went over all of our favorite promos that we had over the year and throughout all 100 episodes. And it's just crazy that we got to 100 episodes. And I mean, we're here on Takeover Tuesday. We're already at, I think this is episode 27. And I don't know, it's so crazy to me. Time is going by too fast and there ain't enough of it. So we gotta work with what we got. All right, you guys. Well, let's talk about today's episode. And I love all your guys' comments about the show last week. I'm so glad that you guys had fun because it was great. Joanne Banco was on, one of my personal favorites. So it was great. I'm glad you guys all had fun. All right, so today's episode, obviously, last week we had Melinda here in the house and she was talking all about why you should get a serger in 2023. And I kind of liked the concept of that because a lot of people, didn't know about sergers or, didn't know how much you could do and incorporate it into your sewing and embroidery type of situations, all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was really fun to kind of go over and hope you guys learned something new. I don't know. It's great, but I love, especially Melinda. She's so great with educating about the sergers. So it was just a great little fun episode. But with that, I thought we should kind of go into like each little type of, sewing and all that kind of stuff. Like we've got embroidery and we've got quilting and all that. So this episode is going to be geared towards why you should be quilting or why you should pick up quilting or why you should start quilting in 2023, because it's a new year and I feel like sometimes we need a little refresher, or we need something new to pick up to, keep us busy, or, with the weather right now, oh my goodness, it's sometimes you don't want to go outside, and I get it. So you just want something that you can pick up and start working on. And with quilting, it's not that hard to get started. So I hope to show you guys that it's super easy, it's super fun. And one personal thing that I love to do when, blending quilting and embroidery is background quilting with your embroidery, using your embroidery machine for quilting. There are so many different things you can go into. And, quilting isn't always just straight lines up and down. There's freehand quilting, and there's, oh my goodness, free motion, and you can get robotics. And if you have a long arm, there's so much you can do, and it's great. And I'm looking at all the comments, and all of you guys love quilting. So I'm glad we're all the same page here. This is great. This is great. But yeah, so there's just so much you can do. And I feel like when it comes to when people who have never, tried sewing before, or embroidered, or quilted, or whatever the thing may be, if they've never even gone near a sewing machine, they have this one idea in their brain of what a quilt looks like, or what quilting is, or embroidery, anything like that. So we're here to break down the wall and show you that there are so many different things you can do when it comes to quilting, and the options are endless. They really are. I'm going to preach that all year long. Just you guys wait. But it's fun, and it's just new hobbies, because if you guys didn't know, this month, January, is National Hobby Month. So if you all are quilting as a hobby, sewing as a hobby, embroidering as a hobby, this month is for you. It's National Hobby Month. And I want to say today is National Creativity Day, I think. Don't quote me on that. I just saw that this morning when I was on our Facebook page, but it could be. If it is, go do something creative today. That's my one assignment for you guys, is to go make something, go get creative. I don't know, whatever. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do, just take with that and try something new. Why not? All right. So what I'm going to show you guys today is one of my favorite educators when it comes to quilting, and that is Kate Quinn. She is an amazing quilter. She uses her Janome 9450 to create the most amazing designs and patterns, and just her style is just awesome. And she, ranges from anywhere from simple designs to more intermediate. And that's what she's kind of going into today, is how you can do curves, how you can do quilting with rulers. And if you've never used a quilting ruler before, it's kind of similar to when we had our Sew Steady Monday videos every Monday, where you guys could come on and watch different quilting videos, kind of like that, where they show how all the quilting rulers work and all that stuff. So I think that's great. Belinda Bryan said quilting is so relaxing, and I totally agree, because it kind of gives, correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of gets you to focus on something, and you can just sit and relax. And for me, having a pattern and, just moving the machine, if I'm on a long arm or if I'm moving the fabric, it's very therapeutic. I gotta say, it's great. I love it. So kind of getting back onto all of that. Oh, hi, Carol Lombardi. I see you on this morning. Good morning. Oh, I saw a comment. Let me see really quick before I get started. I'm sorry, guys. I get so distracted so easily. Leanna said that she's waiting on her 19X Elite combo. That is from Grace Company, and that is such an amazing long arm. We had it. Where did we have it out? I think we did a event. We did thimble therapy, yes, and they brought out the 19X Elite, I believe. I want to say it was that one. And oh my gosh, you guys, when you get a new machine or try a new machine and it just moves like butter and it's just so smooth, you guys, there's nothing better than that. It's the best. It's like going to a fabric store and buying all the fabric. It's just, nothing is better. Nothing tops it. So going back to today's little segment, we're just going to go into quilting and kind of give you a little overall view of what's going on and what we're doing and what's kind of going on with quilting. So I hope you'll come along with me and hang out, and I'll pop in back in a second and try to answer some questions and anything you guys need, and we'll chat some more, and then we'll do some giveaways, and you guys know the drill. You guys know. All right. So we're going to go see Kate Quinn and see what she has got in store for us, and I will be back to answer questions and hang out with you guys a little bit more because I missed you from last week. All right, I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys in a bit.
9450, and this is the view screen on mine. So I'll just take it back real quick and show you how we get there. I'm just going to press a few buttons, kind of get us back to the main screen. So right now, the way that this is set up, I can select any of these tabs right here across the top, one of these right here. To find the ruler work setting, I'm going to go ahead and press this t-shirt, and I'm going to scroll over until I get to this quilting, variable zigzag, and RW, which is ruler work. So I'll select that. And then again, I have to page down here on the bottom. There's a little arrow. And there's my ruler work setting. You'll see on the screen it's got two buttons, medium or light. Right now, the fabric that I'm using is a pretty thin batting, right? If I'm going to just test this really quickly, that's not very thick. It's a thin sandwich. So I'm going to press this light button. And once we go back over to the machine, I'll talk about that light or medium, which is basically the foot height. If I need to make any adjustments and fine tune that, I can press that little arrow and open up this screen, which allows me to adjust my tension perfectly right there on the screen and to adjust the height of my foot if I want to. So we'll talk about that in just a second, but that is the ruler work setting. This is available on the 9450. It's also available on the M7, which has a larger throat if that's something that you're interested in. And it's also available on Janui's new flagship, the CM17, which is a combo embroidery and sewing machine. And it has all of the amazing quilting and ruler work features that this one has, plus a lot more. So let's go ahead, let's come back on over to our sewing area. We'll get our camera stabilized real quick. So there is my foot. And when I put my foot in the down position, if I'm going to do ruler work, I'll put this down. I need to be able to move my sandwich freely. If the foot is pushing down so hard on this fabric that I'm like, oh, I can't move, it's so hard. Well, then I can't sew very well, right? I have to move everything. And if the chances are that this is pushing down on it and I'm trying to pull on this with the ruler on it, that's when the ruler and the fabric are going to separate from one another and not give me a good stitch. I'll just put this up here for a visual, right? So it's really important that I can move freely and that foot is not obstructing me. So if you're using one of the westerly feet, and I'll just put these up here real quick just for a good visual. This is the high shank westerly foot. You're going to adjust the height right here on this slider bar. And again, you want that foot to be so low that it is kissing this fabric, but it is not pushing down so hard that you cannot move. And that is something that will cause a lot of problems if your foot is not set at the proper height. This is the low shank foot, just for visual, right? You can see it has a much shorter neck right here. And when I would put a low shank on, my finger could barely fit under the screw, right? On a low shank, the bar that comes down that this connects onto is very, very low. And the reason why we have high shank, low shank, all these different things, different thicknesses of ruler, is because this right here could fit underneath here once the fabric is on. But if I put a thicker ruler underneath my low shank foot, I don't have any room. Right? Once the fabric is on there, I might not be able to move this very well at all. So we have different feet that fit different machines. You're going to want to match that up. If you go into Sewing Machines Plus and you're chatting with their sales employees, they can help you figure out if your machine needs a low shank foot or a high shank foot. And we also have a couple of special feet, and I'll mention those really quickly. The high shank special. If your machine is high shank, that doesn't mean you're special, right? Of course you are special, but this foot is only for straight stitch only machines. And we're talking about high speed straight stitch machines that are modern machines, not a Singer featherweight. Those ones will take the low shank foot, but this one is for those ones that only sew straight and that they sew very fast. So that's the special foot that you'll need for those machines, because the spacing from the needle bar down to the center position where the needle comes down is a little different. And if you use the wrong high shank foot, then your needle will not be centered on the foot. So this will be the correct foot for those machines. Some brands do require what we call the medium shank foot. Right, I'll pull this up here. And this has just got a little bit longer neck right here with a little bit more adjustability. So the machines that need that will be indicated on our special chart that helps us figure out which machines go with which. Okay, if you have any questions, you can contact me privately. I won't answer any machine questions today, or you can go into Sewing Machines Plus and their employees can help you figure out what you need. Always make sure that your foot is the correct foot for your machine. That is very important. Okay, so we've addressed two things: the height of the foot when you're sewing and the fact of what foot might you need. We talked just briefly about ruler thickness, and I'm going to go ahead and grab one more tool that we need. And I'm going to show you the difference between these tools. Okay, we mentioned that you have high shank and low shank. These are different thicknesses of templates. This low shank is only 3 millimeters thick, this wide. The high shank is 4.5 millimeters, and the long arm is 6 millimeters or a 1/4 inch thick. When I'm using these, I can use the ones that match. So if I have low shank, I can use that with low shank. If I have high shank, I can use high shank. Remember that we said that clearance is the issue, right? So if I have a low shank ruler, my high shank foot right here has a little bit more clearance than my low shank foot. So I can actually use my low shank foot on my high shank machine. That's useful for people that have two different machines, maybe a low shank and a high shank machine. It's quite possible that you could buy low shank rulers and you could use those for both machines. So that'll be just some little bit of information. If you have some questions about that, you can contact me directly and we'll go ahead and get you all set up on whatever's best for you. The last tip I want to give is, as far as the long arm rulers, the reason that the long arm rulers are so thick, on a long arm, if this is the surface of the machine and this is the foot is moving up and down. You'll see when we sew on this domestic machine that my foot is staying level. It isn't moving up and down. But on the long arm, that hopping foot is lifting up. And the elevation is about 5.5 millimeters. So a 6 millimeter thick ruler cannot go underneath that foot because it will butt up against it. It won't slide under it. If I use one of these other rulers that are skinnier for that purpose, and I try to use these on my long arm, there's a big safety risk. So when you hear, oh, if I use the wrong ruler, it might go underneath my foot, that is a long arm related comment. It is not necessarily true for your domestic sewing machine. What's more likely on your domestic sewing machine is that you might put your ruler into your sewing field. So when you're sewing, you're going to set it right against the foot and visually look at that, and then make sure that your fingers are out of the way, and now you're ready to sew. So we've talked a little bit about the setup as far as the machine and setup for the rulers. Let's address one more important topic. Right now, I have my Sew Steady table on. I'll kind of lift this up so that you can see. It fits perfectly right here against the machine. It's a perfect cutout. Then I've got my glider right on top of here. Periodically, I'm going to polish my glider. The reason that I want people to use a glider, I have been in so many classrooms and I have people say, oh, you don't really need that. So what I do at the beginning of class is I don't put the glider on. I let them sew for about 10 minutes without it, and then we put it on. And people cannot believe what a big difference that it makes. It really allows you to move very smoothly, very evenly. And the reason that that is such a big deal for ruler work, I mean, it's a big deal for quilting in general, but for rulers, if the sandwich is trapped against the surface and it is sticking a little bit, that's when the ruler is going to move, because you're trying to hold that ruler and push everything together. But if the fabric sticks, then the ruler can go awry. So this is a very, very big help that was going to reduce fatigue. It's going to make things easier. It helps you make your designs cleaner. And it's really a good system to put these pieces together. If I'm working on just a narrow neck right here of my machine, only this amount of space, then I would constantly have to move my ruler this direction, this way, instead of being able to go any direction that I want. If I don't have this large support, then I cannot sew as freely. So we very much recommend a Sew Steady or a large extension table. I purchased the Sew Steady Junior to use at my mom's house, and I was really disappointed because it doesn't have as much space here in front of the needle. So the minimum size that I recommend if you're working with templates is the 18 by 24 size, which is our large Sew Steady table. I found that I can do pretty much anything I want to do with that size. And we do have the amazing Wish table, which offers a little bit more support in front, as well as a good bit of left and right and front to back additional space. So you can check those out on our website through the shopping page and see what might be a good fit for you. But I really feel like ruler work needs that. It's not just that I'm saying, oh, buy this, buy this, buy this. I use my Sew Steady table every single time. And when I don't have it, I'm a little bit cranky, okay? So real quick, let's check in. Kennedy, can you let me know, are there any things we want to address with this initial setup? Just give me a little bit more lift. I would lift it up like that, do whatever I need to do, and then just gently roll it back under the foot and just pull that thread so it's not getting stuck under there. Smooth it back into place, and then you're ready to sew. Okay, so those are the management things with that. That's true with any of these top load bobbins. If you have a front load, you can just look underneath and do it. We do have ones that are specific to the Bernina BSR table that have the Bernina BSR cutout opening. We also have one that's just ruler work that has no lines. We also have the free motion glider, which is a white sort of a cushioned glider, a little different texture than this. It does not require polishing on the top, and you can clean it the same way. I recommend the white one for those people that have a textured surface. So if you're working on the Sew Steady table, this is a very smooth plastic, and this adheres very well. But if you're using a textured extension table, like one of the Janome tables, the white one I think sticks much better to that surface that is a little bit irregular. So also, with these are linty, they don't stick well. Make sure they're clean when you're using them. That way they'll stick really well. Anything else, Kennedy? So I added some other stuff so it'll be fresh for you guys. So let me go ahead and bring the camera out just a little bit so we can see a little more. Fun and Fancy was a book that I wrote, and it uses specific templates in the Westerly line. So I did not create the tools, I just created the designs and the book. We felt like you needed some help. I'm just going to try to open this to a design so you could kind of see it. The way we've set this up is green is your start circle and it represents your foot. And then the template is shown aligned, and then you're going to sew around and stop over here. And then you would move the template to the next position. And these are all lined up on this white line, which would basically be a chalk reference line. So everything is done step by step, and then it showcases designs that you can get. So the Fun and Fancy set has quite a few different pieces. We're going to go ahead and just focus on just a few of them because we don't have a lot of time. This particular piece, this is called the Circles on Quilts 21, and it is big and beautiful and awesome. All these reference lines right here allow you to use the template in different ways. It's got a little key, and all these little white grippies, these are on the back side. If you'll notice right now, you can read the words right here, and this is a pinhole. When we can read the words, that's the front of the template, and all of these white lines are etched in on the back. So then these little grips, in most cases, you want them on that back side. There's a few times when we could switch the ruler, and I'll explain that later. But we'll go ahead and start working with this one and just sew this design in so you can see how we can work with a pin-driven template. So again, this piece is from the Fun and Fancy set. And let me just grab my fabric. Here we go. Less talking, more sewing, right? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a special tool that I have, and it's called the 8-point crosshair. And I'm going to mark the design right here. I'm going to mark this space. See if I can get it lined right up in the center. I guess I'm not doing a very good job. I should mark it like this, right? That would be so much easier because then I could see that I'm in the center. All right, this is a Choco liner that I have filled with Hansi Iron Off chalk powder. So the powder looks just like this. It's just heat erasable with your iron. So that just makes it a little bit more convenient. I don't have to worry about how to get that chalk off when I'm done. I like the Choco liner for this because it fits right in the channel. So it helps me have a really clean marking right there. Let's go ahead and we'll move that after we make our center dot. So I got a little skinnier marker here that I'm just going to use to make my center dot. All right, so there you go. I got all my lines, very visible, easy to use. And now we can get ready to sew. These templates, any ones that come with a pin, it's just a thumbtack. It's just, you know, something that you might find at Home Depot. There's just a regular thumbtack. And the reason why it's a simple item is because if you lose it, you can go to Home Depot and buy 500 more for really cheap. So then you can still use your tool. I'm going to go ahead and put it through the center first. That marks on the back where the hole is for the center. So then I can put it with it coming up through the bottom. Thanks. I got to bring it close to me, otherwise I can't see it. All right, here we go. Let's put that template on. I'm going to line up this top line right on those reference lines. Okay, and there's an A and a B on this template, and I'm going to start at A, and then I'll just keep on sewing around. Hook it right into that little spot right there, and then I'm going to pull up that bobbin thread so I can control all my threads on the top. One of the unique features about this Janome is it actually has a bobbin pull-up feature called the one stitch off. So what it allows is it'll take one stitch as you're sewing to pick up the bobbin thread, and then it'll keep on doing regular sewing after that. You can turn that feature on and off, but that is a nice convenient feature. When you're working with rulers, always wait until your needle stops moving before you make any adjustments to your position or let go of the template. With this ruler, I've now rotated it and now I'm back at A. This particular design is spinning at 90 degrees. So notice here I'm activating these white stable tape grips, and I've got this one here at the top. Those are activated by a little bit of pressure, and then they are gripping that fabric. So they're acting kind of like a glove would be, and they're moving that so that you can definitely move smoothly and keep the ruler in place. At this position, notice that I haven't had to rotate my sandwich at all. One of my favorite features about ruler work is that 360 movement. I don't have to rotate a quilt if I need to sew along. I can just keep it all going oriented the same direction, and I can sew any here on the fabric. And when I use that, that allows me to align that right onto the existing design. And that helps me to make sure that when I get around to my design, I can do a little smushing and make sure that I'm going to end right where I want to. So let's go ahead and sew. Okay, so we're right down at the end. Usually I'll take a few tacking stitches right there, make sure the design is closed. Because we want to show you some different tools, I'm going to go ahead and just come right back up to here, and we're going to use this top spot to put another element into this design. I can always use the ruler to track back if I want to in order to get me to a different spot that I need to be for my design. This is where I can show you this unique key feature right here. If I lift up the tape, mine is just Scotch tape and it has a little folded over tab. I can take this out, and that's going to let me take the whole template off without having to cut my thread. So when you're done, just make sure you put your piece back in. This way. There we go. I think it's upside down. Oh, lay it down, right? I'm trying to be all fun and fancy, right? There we go. Just get that back on. Make sure you tape it so you don't lose it. But now I can set this aside. I haven't had to cut my thread, and I'm ready to go ahead and stitch right on to the next design. And at this point, since we tack this off with a little extra stitching, I can go ahead and get those threads out of my way as well. All right. So we said that we were going to show two different sets. So the other set that I want to show you some cool features are, this is the Flower Power set. This is curated by Sew Steady educator Ann Moore. She's got some beautiful designs that she's done with it. And that's a class that you can also purchase on the Sew Steady University if you'd like to see more of her work. And this has this 6-inch arc. It has a heart border, a little small spinifex. This is a very small circle, a 1/2-inch circle at an amazing straight edge, which I really love. So if you're looking for some really basic, useful pieces, I think this is really a great set that offers a lot of value. I'm going to go ahead and showcase that 6-inch arc today. So right here, this is the 6-inch arc, and this can be used on either side. If we use this side or this side, it's the same. So I know it looks a little different, but the way to think about it is on this curve, we're sewing on the inside of the shape. And on this part of the ruler, we're sewing on the outside. So even though they look different, they would actually sew the very same curve. Okay, so let's just go ahead and play a little bit. I'm going to take this pin out of here. I do want to keep my grips right in the same spot, and I'm going to push this up so that I can get a 1/4 inch right here. So this is where I'm going to use that same tool that we had before. So let's see if we can make sure that you guys can see. All right, so right here, if this is the end, I can use my spacing gauge right there, and I can push that up on the line until I'm at a 1/4 inch. And then I can just sew right along until I get to that next spot. So I'm activating the grips here, here, and here. When I'm using any template, when you first get it, play with the template a little bit and then decide how you want to hold it. Then you can set the grips right underneath your fingers. That way you're going to have the most effective tack for your way of using that ruler. And that might be different for you than it is for somebody else. So I'm right here at the top right there, and then I can just align for the next one the exact same way. I'm using this center line right here to line up my template, and I'm just going to push it up until I have that 1/4 inch perfect spacing with my spacing gauge. The 6-inch arc is built on a 6-inch circle. It's actually the same arc that you would have with a 6-inch circle, but it has all of these great reference lines so we can use different angles. And the angles on this side are exactly the same as the angles on that other side. So we're using the outside, and then I'm going to show you, we'll do one more round using the inside to make something as well, just so you can see how we can vary it up and the benefit of having those two different sides. When you're sewing, listen to the sound of my machine. People sometimes ask, is my machine regulated? And I tell them, yes, it is. It's regulated by me. I am listening to it. If I can make the machine have the same sound that it has when it is piecing, then I can control my stitch length because I'm just going to keep that same rhythm. I want it to be very rhythmic, just as if I were piecing with my machine, and that's going to help give me beautiful regulated stitches. So we do have some options. The new CM17 actually has a ruler work stitch regulator, which is so awesome. So let's talk about how we can use maybe a little different look right here. We can go ahead and just make some marks right here. I'll go ahead and just use some chalk. This could be another way that we could align. We can use our spacing gauge and we can just create some random divisions in here. And we can use those to line up the template, and then we can add a little bit more detail to the design. So right here, what we can do is we'll set this right on here so that this is touching that, and then we'll sew back to the top. It's not as important here for us to put the arc in any particular place, right? We're just going to go to the center line, and then here we'll line this up right at that 1/4 inch. So again, that spacing gauge gets to be super important. If I am sewing, for example, a triangle or a square, something like that, that's a very precise shape, what I want is I want to close that shape. I don't want it to maybe close or optionally close, look kind of close, but not really. I think we did it like that. No, I guess, there we go. I'm trying to keep these the same. And then line this one up. And we'll just keep going around, getting us right back to that position. You'll see that the foot right here is now lined up exactly at the top. So I love the precision that we're able to get. Now we can line the ruler up on the dot, or we could line it up with the spacing gauge. Either way, if I align the edge of the ruler right here, right on the little cross mark, this foot is going to sew a 1/4 inch away. The difference between the needle space and the foot is always that 1/4 inch. So that's just something for you to kind of keep in mind as you're doing your designs. If you want to get right into that spot, then you need to be a 1/4 inch away. All right, so let's see. We've talked about a couple different tools. We're going to put some little embellishments in this with some of the designs from the rest of the set. Notice how just adding a couple of extra lines really changes that design that was maybe a little bit kind of an awkward shape with that a lot of space out here, but now that we're segmenting it, it really looks a little bit more finessed. So one thing that rulers is really great for is always being able to add some additional lines. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to come back to this center position right here, and we're going to put a little detail in right in this little space right here. And that'll help fill out some of our design. What do you think so far? Are you liking it? Let's go ahead and take out one more tool that is in this Flower Power set. This will be probably the last one that we'll demo from this set today, just because of time constraints. This is the Mini Spinifex number 4. Two things I like about it. Number 4 is the same template that is in the sampler set, which is Westerly's most popular set ever. From the beginning, it's been our most popular seller. So this can go very well with that piece that's already in that sampler set that a lot of people have, and give you additional sizes. This is a very, very small design. You're getting 2 of them, and you're still going to sew them the same way. This is that center line. So what I can do right here from the center is I'm just going to use that center, and maybe we'll just put a fun little design. We can make our Spinifex start here and go out. So it would be like this with this to the outside, or you might want to put it like this and have this be the part where the foot starts and then a petal going out like that. I'll show you on Anne's what it looks like in terms of the shape. This is the shape of that design, and we've got 2 different sizes of it on this one template. All right, let's see. Let's get ourselves going. I think we'll use the other side. I want to use this bigger one if we can. So because we're already in there, I'm going to go ahead and open up the key, just slide this on and put it on. One thing to check when you're setting it up is just make sure that your grips are down against your fabric. Sometimes people will ask me, well, these should be up or down. They should be against the fabric. They're making the ruler and the fabric stick to each other so that they move as one unit. Okay, so I'm going to set this up. I can set it up just like this, and I'm going to line up the lines right on the reference line, just like we talked about. This one might sew into those arcs a little bit. If I'd sewed it this way, it probably will not. It's just a design decision, but you can use any Spinifex in either direction just like this, and you'll get different results depending on how you use it. I like this little point to go out for this particular design, so I'm going to use it like this. This one's smaller, so you may want to sew just slightly faster. That lets you kind of get through that design a little better. I'm going to tack it right here, just put a few tacking stitches. Then I'm going to pick up my needle, and I'm going to show you how you can move around your design. I'm just going to move this right to the next spot. I'll go ahead and get my needle lined up, and I'm going to hold this top thread. So put my needle right in the point right there, and then pull this slack out of there. Right now, I'm not sewing over any existing stitch lines, right? The pattern that I'm going is going around clockwise or counterclockwise. And that's going to help make sure that this design doesn't stitch over any existing bobbin thread or anything like that. Okay, so again, tack it off a little bit right there. And then pick your needle up, and then we'll just keep on going. There's only 4 of these, so we can get these knocked out pretty quickly. So again, line it up, checking the back, make sure that you're as even as you can be. Now, when you're using templates, in most cases, it doesn't matter if you sew left to right or right to left. Usually that is just a design option for you, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Now, when I'm done with this, before I add any additional elements, I probably will go back and I will cut any threads that are hanging out, right? Because I don't want any loose threads that are going to get sewn in on the back, because the bobbin thread, right, is going to be crisscrossing a little bit. I'll even show it to you. Let me just cut this. Now, I'm going to show you, I don't typically use my scissor button when I'm working, because I want to be able to bring that bobbin thread up. And that thread is a little short if I use the scissors. I'm going to take my needle up and raise my foot. And I can take the whole sandwich. I'm going to lengthen the bobbin by about 6 inches and hold on to this top thread here. When I put this right back down, I'm going to needle down and up right where I left off. And then again, I want to raise that presser foot. Right there, that's my bobbin thread right there. So now I can cut it, and because we did all of those extra securing stitches there, that is not going to come out. It's completely tied off. Okay, we'll just cut these so we can release our design. So that's just one way that you can travel throughout your design when you need to. So what do you think? How we're going, right? So I told you we would get a little crossover because this is a little bit wider than this angle. If we had flipped this design and put the skinny end right there, the chances are that it wouldn't cross over, but I don't mind. I think it looks fine. I like it. All right, so let's see. We've shown 3 different templates, and let's show maybe one more. This is also from that Flower Power set. I wanted to show you how we use the inside arc, and we can create a little bit more depth when we're doing our designs with that 6-inch arc. If I align this right along here on the center, we can go ahead and make a little echo in between. So I'm aligning it on the first reference line right here, right? So this is a 1/4 inch, but the spacing will actually be about 1/2 inch difference because the foot is going to add a little more space. So let's make sure we can do it. Get it lined up. And we'll start with the foot right here touching the ruler. This is an example of where I place the ruler first and I let the ruler tell me where does the foot need to go. An additional piece that we can learn in this part of it is sometimes we need to free travel a little bit to get ourselves lined up for the next part of the design, and we're going to showcase that here as well. So right there, I'm going to go ahead and just do a few tacking stitches right here in the existing stitch line. I am moving just to secure those threads, and I'm going to sew right over to the other side, and then I'll make my adjustments from there. So I'm right in the stitch line. In order to do this part right here, I need to travel just a little bit on the existing stitch line in order to get aligned. So I'm going to go ahead and travel down just a few stitches right there, and then I'll line up the ruler and let me know if I'm in the right spot or not. So again, we want this pretty much on the center, so I think I need one more stitch in order to get the ruler lined up. So that way I can push this down so there's enough room. Okay, so then we'll sew against this one and we'll put another line in. Oh, excuse me, hairball. No, I don't have any cats. That's my daughter's hair. She's got really long red hair. All right, so then again, free travel allows me to position that template. And since the ruler line is so nice and clean, if I can practice stitching along that, it helps me to make the designs that I want. It gives me the freedom to move around the designs and be more effective. Sometimes when you're using the inside of the curve, it's a little narrower than the outside. So there's always reasons why you might want to use one side or the other. And I like that you have that option in this particular template. I'll give you an example. If I was sewing with this one and I want the curve to go that way, right? I can easily use these reference lines and just keep going that way. But if I wanted to make it go this way, like go backwards, if the curve was here and I wanted to go this way, well then these lines are away. There's a gap in between. Whereas with this one, I've got the inside and the outside. So I can align on this side or I can align on this side. So all of the arcs that we have use this same system. There's a 2-inch, the 3-inch arc, the 4-inch arc is in the sampler set already. This 6-inch arc is in the Flower Power set. And then there's an 8, 12, and a 16-inch arc. Very, very valuable. I especially use the bigger ones when I'm working on my long arm, but absolutely.
All right, you guys, what did you think? Tell me what you thought. I was looking at the comments earlier and there was a couple things that I wrote down that I wanted to just quickly mention and cover. Kate was using the Janome 9450 machine. Such a great machine for quilting and such a great upgrade machine if you have a small machine, maybe with a small throat space and you want an upgrade. Highly, highly, highly recommend that 9450. It is great, and especially with all the features like she was showing you today, like that ruler stop, the one-step needle up and down. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on what it's called, but you guys saw what that was. Such amazing features. It's great. A lot of you guys were asking for more of ruler work videos, and if that's something that you guys want, say no more. I will write it down. I've got my pen. I'm going to write it down here because I always love to listen to you guys when it comes to things that you want to see on the show. So I love hearing that. I was about to say seeing that, but you know, same thing. Let's see. Yeah, ruler work. I love watching it. Somebody commented that it was like spirograph, and I grew up playing with spirograph and using spirograph. So I think that's might be a reason why I love watching ruler work and stitching out ruler work so much, is because it is just so satisfying. It's so calming. It's so relaxing. It's great. And the nice thing about ruler work is you can go slow. I know a lot of people must think, there's Roger. Say hi. I just had to throw in a little shout out there. You guys know we got to do it every time. But with ruler work, it's you can adjust your speed. There's no mandatory way of how to do it, which is great because that applies to all sewing. It applies to everything. You can adjust your speed. You can, like Kate was saying, that you can go super slow to make sure that you're really getting everything. It's great. I love it. Personal favorite for me. But yeah, that's great. So I love when Kate explains ruler work and just quilting and all that stuff. The mat. Lisa asked about the mat that she was using. She was using the Sew Steady glider mat, which is a super, super, super little thin. You guys see our sew mats all the time, but this is so thin. It slides under your machine and it sticks. It's not sticky, but it kind of sticks to your machine. And that way you're able to have a smoother surface and a more, what's the word? It just helps you move your fabric around a little smoother. I'm trying to think of a good word for that, but it'll come to me in a second. But it just helps keep your fabric smooth, especially if you're doing free motion. It's kind of a lifesaver because, if fabric gets caught on something or stuck or bunches up, it just really helps to prevent any bunching or, folding of fabrics or batting, tangle, anything like that. It's just great. And then also the polish kit and all of those items you can get. Slick. Diane Deacon. That's the word I was looking for. Slick. Vicki Edwards. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. It was going to bug me. It's going to bug me for like the rest of the day if I didn't think of what to say. But all of those products are on our website as well. And the ruler templates and the rulers that she was using today are in a Flower Power template kit that is on our website as well. So if you want to try some ruler work, you can try out some of those rulers, and it's awesome. So Steady is probably one of my favorite brands when it comes to their rulers and their quilting supplies, because they're all made very, very well, very high quality, and they last so long. Like that spacing gauge, it's small, but it's probably one of the best tools that you can have if you're getting into quilting. It is just so easy, makes life easy. You know, sometimes we stress about that 1/4 inch seam or whatever seam allowance that you need. It's great. It's got all the different sizing options for you. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. All right. Well, let's see. Yes, Vicky, the fabric slides freely. That's the best. Debbie said the polishing kit is wonderful. It's awesome. Sew Steady has really great products. I love them. And the Sew Steady tables, oh my goodness, you guys. You guys, don't even get me started. I kind of want to do a show just on all of the Sew Steady tables, because they're like the underdogs. You don't realize how amazing they are until you actually see them in action and see how they're used. They're great. They're amazing. All right. Well, I hope I was able to get some of the creativity flowing for you guys today with today's episode. And I mean, I think it's time for some giveaways. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's time. So let's get our little dance music going on. Let's get our wheel ready. Okay, what are we giving away first? What are we giving away first? I think we're going to start off classic. We got to do one of our sew mats. And with our sew mats, I'm going to let you guys see them real quick. And then we will come back to me. Excuse me. But with the sew mats, I have a little announcement. We have a new color that we are getting our samples of very soon, like extremely soon. And if those samples are the ones, then you guys will have a new mat coming very, very soon. I'm so excited. These mats are just, they're so much fun. They're so much fun to work on. And I feel like we can all, you know, all of us, I know we have a lot of quilters here. We have a lot of embroiderers. We have a lot of sewers. Whatever you are, you can use a sew mat for anything. Angela Wolf, I know her husband uses them for his fishing gear. Let's see, who else? Blaine's got one on his desk. There's so many, and I feel like the mats, they bring us together, right? Right? We can all relate on the one thing, and that's these mats. So let me share my screen, get that wheel pulled up, and we will get to spinning. All right. Let's see. Let's do it. Okay. Let's do this one. Okay. Bring me on the screen. Okay. Are we excited? I don't know what to do, guys. You guys are going to have to tell me what to do. What do I got to do? Oh, Linda Brooks said, Kennedy, spin that wheel. Okay. All right. We're spinning. Let's see. Let's see. Christine Vasquez. Congratulations, Christine. You have just won a brand new sew mat of the size and color of your choosing. So if you want to go ahead and head to smplive.tv, you can claim your prize, put all your info in there, and we can get that sent out to you. But also, pick your color, pick your size, whatever you want. If you've got a big machine, you can go big. You can get whatever size you want to fit in your sewing room. So that's amazing. Congrats, Christine. What is next? Let's see. All right, I think here's what I want to do. We're going to do a $100 gift card, but because we just went over some amazing products today, I want to give you guys a chance to shop and go spoil yourselves for the new year. So let's go ahead and spin and see who is going to win this gift card. Let's see. Let's see. Let's do it. Okay. Kathy Clark, congratulations. You have just won a $100 gift card. Now you can go to smplive.tv to fill out your information, and we will get that emailed to you, and we can get you shopping for something good. All right. Our last giveaway, since we were on the topic of, quilting and all that, and we're talking about fabric, of course. We're talking about all the different things. What's one thing that I think everybody needs when it comes to sewing or quilting? I'll give you a second. An iron. An iron, you guys. Everybody needs an iron. So let's see who is going to win this Singer Steamcraft Steam Iron today. It's the most adorable little pink and gray color. It is so cute. I love it so much. And if you are in our Facebook group, our SMP Nation Facebook group, we've been getting some great reviews on these irons. They are so amazing, and I'm glad that everybody in SMP Nation is getting their hands on these irons from giveaways, whatever, if you're trying them out and buying them. They've been doing really well, and so I wanted to give you guys a chance to have one. And let's see. All right, let's go ahead and spin and see who's going to win this iron. Let's do it. Okay. Now that I think about it, I need an iron, you guys. I don't have an iron. Linda Von Bank, congratulations. You have just won a brand new Singer iron. So congrats. You're one step ahead of me. I don't have an iron, so I need to get one. So we'll all be getting some irons today. So go ahead and head to smplive.tv to claim your prize. We will get that shipped out to you, and you can get steaming and working on some new fun quilts or ruler work. I don't know. It's up to you. All right, you guys. Well, that was episode 27 of Takeover Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me today. Also, let me know just some questions for you guys. First off, number one, let me know what videos you guys want to see next, or what kind of topics you want to go over. And number two, what kind of giveaways do you like? Do you like the mats? Do you want to keep the mats? What do you guys want to see? Just let me know. I love to read your guys' comments and see what's going on, because I like to stay connected with you guys. All right. Well, if you want to see more of us or stay in touch with SMP, follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. On TikTok, you heard that right. We have got, I said Facebook already, our YouTube, of course, you're watching probably right here. So go ahead and subscribe wherever the button is. I'll let you look right down there. Go ahead and subscribe and like this video. And what else? I think that's it. Oh, sign up for our emails. Oh my goodness, sign up for our emails, because we have some amazing deals going on all this month, and you're the first to find out when you're on our emails. So just letting you know, just trying to help you guys out. That's all I'm trying to do. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get back to it over here. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful rest of their day. Gail, I see your comment about that Encore 260A. I gotcha. We'll work on that. She's asking for an in-depth tutorial on the Encore 260A, because I know a lot of you guys probably won one. Anyways, just had to throw that in there. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and week, and get creative, and hopefully this maybe motivated you a little bit to try something new and sew something new. And if you do, make sure you join our Facebook group, our SMP Nation Facebook group, and post pictures of your projects, because we love seeing them, and so does everybody else here. So, all right, this is it. I think I'm done for reals now. All right, you guys, I will see you so soon, and just go have a great day, you guys. Have a wonderful day. All right, see you guys very soon. Bye.